Hello and welcome back, guys. Today we're going to take a look how I went from 0 item level to 1100, which actually unlocks, tier 3 content. As you can see in the background, I'm already in Punica, or this is called Punica now, and which unlocks this entire new content and most of the endgame content in the game. So yeah, let's get started. Okay, so first and foremost, you will have to level to 50 and continue the main quest line. So the normal route is going from Tortoik to Annika and then to Arthetine and then from Arthetine to North Vern. But there's a couple people that skip Annika entirely because you can, but I did not do that. So once you enter Vern, which is, by the way, the town that I'm in right now, this is when the endgame questlines or the level 50 questlines start. So in this sense, you will level through this entire area of North Vern, which you can see right here, the continent. And after you finish this, you can actually get a power pass in your mail, which allows you to boost one character at a time. So that means once you're at that level, once you've finished North Vern, you will get that mail and you can boost one of your old characters. Once you've boosted the first character, you can actually boost a second character as well. So once you've completed the North Vern quest line, you will be ending up here, which is at the docks of North Vern. Once you're at the docks, you will have to equip a new boat called Sturmbrecher, or Icebreaker in some versions, I believe, which you've gotten through the quest line as well. Once you have that equipped, you will head to Shushire and do the entire quest line over there. Now that you're done with the Shushire quest line, you should be around this area in Regan's village, which will give you 2 more mails, one actually giving you your awakening ability right here, and one giving you a level 50 ability as well. So once you have done both of these, we'll move on to the actual endgame part. So now that we're in endgame, this not only opens up a lot of new possibilities and a lot of new content, but before I do any of that, depending on when my daily reset is, I will enter the island route or the Gienna Sea route made on Maxwell by Choi Licious. Now I will link this in the description. This is very important to do, and this gives a lot of materials, is very efficient, and you will get through a lot of quest lines as well, island hearts, pirate coins, everything you need, and this will get you started once you reach level 50 or once you reach endgame after the quest line tells you to get to 460 item level. So depending when your daily reset is, and I really want to stress that you will figure that out quickly depending on where you live and where your region is, and then on which server you're playing. There's also a couple of new endgame systems that you will be introduced here that you should be doing almost every day. First of which is the Chaos Dungeon. Looks like this on the minimap, and if you click on it, you can see all the different kinds of Chaos Dungeons that you can do. This will give you gear, and the gear that you got from Shushire will actually already be the 302 gear, so you will already be decked out in this, and you can start upgrading it. On top of that, you have Guardian Raids, also something you can do on a daily basis. You can harvest 2 souls a day, so 2 Guardians a day is preferred. And as you start doing these, you also get more materials. And each first clear of these actually also gives you an extra box. To unlock the next tier of Guardians, you have to do all of them anyways. So yeah, you will be doing that either way. Also, a part of the big gameplay loop in endgame are Una's tasks. If you press Alt J on your keyboard, you can see there's a new UI window popping up with all the different Una's tasks that you can do. Generally speaking, Leapstones is what you're looking for. Right now, these ones look blue because this is for tier 2. But these should be looking green in the beginning. On top of that, if you go to the next tab, there's a weekly tab up here, which also introduces you to weekly Una's tasks. My preferred ones are the PvP ones, obviously, which give you a lot of Leapstones and some life shards as well, but you can also experiment with these as well. On top of that, there's also the reputations that you get from doing those Una's tasks, so always keep checking if you have something new unlocked. Like here, for example, I claim that and it keeps progressing. On top of that, you have another weekly, which looks like this on your minimap, this little blue crystal thing, which is an Abyss dungeon. Now, these you start at item level 340. These are a little bit harder content, and you need a 4-person party to complete them. They will give you gold, materials, especially in dismantling the items, and so on. Outside of every major town, there's also something called a merchant ship, which, if you go to the normal tab here, also gives you a variety of different materials to buy with pirate coins. So this is something you can buy each week, and is also super important. The pirate coin merchant isn't actually the only vendor that has weekly lockouts. There's one more, actually 2 more, that I want to talk about real quick. One is the infinite chaos dungeon. So if you already did your chaos dungeon, obviously you will see that the aura of resonance is depleted, but you can still keep running it and it will give you a different kind of currency. This currency can be used at a vendor right next to the chaos dungeon, which can award you a weekly lockout of a lot of materials actually that you can get used to as well. In all tiers this is available, and this is also very important. On top of that, on every major city there's also someone called a Silmail Bloodstone exchange vendor, which is very important if you're in a guild. So this is what the Silmail one looks like, which will also reward you a little bit of materials depending on your guild level. You get these bloodstones by doing guild donations, which are daily. I would recommend only doing the silver ones. And on top of that, helping your guild with guild tasks and supporting the research. Now you've been probably thinking, should I be doing all of this on my alt characters as well? I personally do not. I have, as you can see, I have 4 characters. Only one is really leveled up. One is at 340, so he can do the Abyss raid we just talked about. But we'll talk about my alt here now. So if you're still struggling to get Harmony Shards and Leapstones and some other materials, make sure to push one alt to a certain level, because the first clear of the tower actually rewards no materials, but the second one and every consecutive clear afterwards will give you materials, as you can see right here. So what I did is on the first 13 floors, as you can see here, I have gained materials. That is because I pushed my alt character, which is my Shadow Hunter in this case, to 380-ish item level. So the Shadow Hunter can do the Shadespire Tower first, and then on the second clear, I will get all of these rewards on my main character, which is a lot of Harmony Shards, and that will bridge the gap between contents a little bit more. Now with all of those mats from the islands and your Chaos Dungeon and your Guardian raids and your Unas tasks, you should be approaching 460 item level soon, which will unlock the next endgame questline, which is here in Rohendel. So in Rohendel, that questline also gives you more materials and will, help you upgrade faster. On top of that, after finishing the questline, there should be some purple quests popping up around this area in the main city, which will introduce you to your second Awakening questline. It will be named something along the lines of Journey or something like that. That questline gives you more materials on top of that. So while you're continuing the questline of Rohendel, and while you're doing other things, like doing the secondary Awakening questline, there's also something to be aware of, which is the dungeons. From here on out, all the hard mode dungeons will actually reward you with materials as well. So obviously during leveling and doing the first clears, you normally do them on a normal mode, which also rewards materials, but the hard mode will as well. So keep that in mind, do the hard mode dungeons as well if you want to have more materials. So now you will be slowly approaching some bottlenecks, and a lot of people call Mary's Secret Shop pay to win because it is to an extent, but you can circumvent that very easily without paying anything. So first of all, as you can see right here, I have 6,500 blue crystals, which all of those besides 2.6k, by the way, this package right here is very worth buying if you want blue crystals. But I didn't even use that yet. So I have 6.4k blue crystals just by clicking this little button at the bottom right called Currency Exchange. Depending on your server, you can actually exchange gold for blue crystals. And in the beginning, gold is not very useful, especially in tier 1 and tier 2. So that being said, I was transferring a lot of gold from my pockets into the market so I can get blue crystals out of that by selling books, by selling items, by selling armor, by doing the Abyss raids that we talked about earlier. The Abyss dungeons, they also reward you gold, and a couple of quest lines in the game reward you gold as well. So that being said, you can see right here there's a lot of ways to get blue crystals, and this is very easy to do. As I said, most of the early on gold gain isn't really used anyways, so depending on your server, you can get a lot of blue crystals just by converting them completely free to play. And then you can use those crystals on Mary's Secret Shop if you need them, okay? Don't buy the entire shop out. As you can see, I didn't buy everything here. I just bought a couple things that I thought were useful, like shard pouches, especially Harmony Shards. A lot of people struggle with those. So be careful what you buy here. Some of these deals are not good deals, and some of these things are actually way cheaper in the auction house. So keep that in mind. Use your blue crystals wisely, use your gold wisely, so you can actually get the most out of your gold from the get-go, and don't just waste it on random deals or random items. Also, another quick note before we continue. Please make sure to always check your welcome challenge, especially the gear upgrade section. From the get-go, this awards you a lot of things, a lot of materials starting in tier 1 and throughout the entire upgrading process. So always try to do these welcome challenges, especially the gear upgrade ones. But there's also some very valuable ones in every section, like the collectible one as well. Also, always take a look out on this little compass on the top left of your screen, which shows various different events, some of which also award you with materials. If you want to double check very important events as well, click on the Prosecon compass below your minimap, which shows you what's available today from very important content pieces that will disappear tomorrow and basically have a daily reset on top of it. So now with all of that in mind, you should be approaching Yorn 600 gear score, which will be called tier 2 content from here on out. And there's one very important thing to note about the items you made in tier 1, the plus 15 tier 1 items. So once you've finished the Yorn questline, you will be in the Great Castle area. And now you won't have gear anymore. So not like the Shoeshire questline that gave you a full set of gear, you won't get that in tier 2. To actually get your gear to 802 item level, you will have to do 2 chaos dungeons probably, depending on how lucky you are, obviously. So again, now after the Rohendel chaos dungeons, you will be in Yorn, which the first one you can do at 600 item level, and it will drop 802 item level pieces. If in your first 2 chaos dungeons you can't get the full set of these, make sure to go to the auction house again, go to the auction house tab up here, go to gear and look up some items, especially tier 2 items obviously, so you can fill the gap if something is missing. Don't buy anything expensive here, doesn't really matter, you just want to get to that 802 item level threshold. You have a full set of plus 15 gear still from tier 1, but you got your 802 item level pieces. You click on gear transfer where you normally hone your gear. You actually transfer your plus 15 tier 1 gear on top of the 802 chaos dungeon gear, which should get you a plus 1 immediately, and you're not wasting the old gear whatsoever. So again, in tier 2 you will be doing the same things as always. You'll be doing your Una's task, you will be doing your weeklies, and you will be doing your chaos dungeon and your guardian raids and your abyss raids. But again, I want to show you the website I talked to you about earlier, which is the island route, the max roll guide by Choi. If you scroll down all the way here, you will eventually get to the tier 2 materials route. So this is again the similar thing as in tier 1. You will have a lot of different islands to do, and which will award you a lot of different materials. Keep in mind, these optional islands are also really good. So outside of Yorn is also what you call Azure Island, which was optional in the guide before. You will have to do Shankra Island before you can actually do Azure Wind Island, or before you can complete it, which shows up on different points on the map. Normally in the your area chat, people will spam where this actually is. Keep a lookout for that island right up here in your little compass. You will also need Harmony Island, which also rewards you with a song, so keep a lookout for that, which is an adventure island as well. In tier 2 there's actually one additional vendor on Azure Wind Island, which is Rika. This you can do once a week, and you can get up to 3,000 life shards from this as well, because this is always something you will be needing, so this is very important to do. All you need to do is doing this little event right here every 10 or 15 minutes, and you have to do this 3 times a week, and it's very easy, 3,000 life shards. And also again, keep in mind that in tier 2 you obviously have abyss raids as well. So in both of these you have abyss raids. Once you're out of the item level you can't do them anymore though, but it's very important to do these. They give you a good amount of gold, a good amount of mats and items that you can also sell on the marketplace, like engraving books that can go to upwards 1,000 gold each, depending on how lucky you are. Oh, and if you're still struggling a little bit with gold and how to get it, there's some characters that will actually award you gold by having good affinity with them, a good rapport with them. So that's also something to keep in mind. And also use your daily emotes and your daily instrument plays on some people that actually give you gold, like Mr. Thyron over here. Also, one more quick note towards the Legion gates or the Chaos gates. After you did them, you will be rewarded with a secret map like this or like this. These can actually be shared, so if I click right click, you can see right here that you can share this map. You can do this in a 4-man group with 4 different people that have different maps, which awards a lot of materials as well, shard bags, and something I haven't really mentioned just yet, the breaths. These breaths are very expensive because they actually up the chances of your enhancements. On top of that, from the abyssal raids that we talked about, you can also get these tailoring books, which can also upgrade your enhancing chances on top of that. So do these maps in a group and you will be rewarded handsomely. Same, these moon breaths can be gained by a lot of different events. Ghost ships, as we talked about in the pros and cons compass, and even Infinite Chaos Dungeon can award these. So keep these in mind. They're very expensive, they're very useful if you want to have higher chances to enhance your gear. And last but not least, I just wanted to quickly mention these little gambling boxes because they show 2 different types of tickets. These you can also drop from Chaos Dungeons, or you just gamble them on the guild vendor. This is one of them, is called the Silent Hall in this case, which is already tier 2, which is a boss rush event, which awards you Leapstones and all kinds of good stuff. And on top of that, the cube, which you should always also do, which can award you even more breaths that we just talked about. And that's basically it. If you have any further questions, please let me know. I will continue my Punica questline now and progress my character even further. So thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, if it helped you out, please consider subscribing. I'm also gonna show you guys a little bit of an overview screen of just some of the most important activities, just so you don't get too confused. And yeah, see you over on Twitch, I guess, maybe. And until then, thanks for watching, guys. Peace.